Official report Galactic date 47291.6. From Department of Potentially Dangerous Species Assessment. Subject Earth status change urgent. Priority elevated to critical. Look, I know nobody reads these reports. Trust me, I get it. I've been filing them for the equivalent of 12 Earth years, and the most attention any of them got was when I accidentally included my grocery list in the appendix. But this one you need to read. Earth has gone silent. Now, before you skip to the next report about some harmless Class 7 civilization discovering nuclear fusion and throwing themselves a planet-wide party, let me explain why this is different. You know, the way the Bezosargians did when they accidentally invented social media and spent 3 decades doing nothing but sharing pictures of their larvae. No, Earth went silent in a way that's making everyone nervous. For those of you who haven't been following my previous 847 reports on Earth, let me catch you up. Humans are weird. They're classified as a Class 5 civilization, which means they've figured out digital technology but haven't quite mastered faster than light travel. Usually this is the boring stage where species just sit around arguing about whether their planet is flat and posting cat videos on their primitive information networks. But humans? They've been different from the start. When we first started monitoring them, they were the only known species to simultaneously develop thousands of different languages just to make communication more difficult. They invented something called sarcasm, which is basically lying, but for fun. And they're the only species we've ever observed that deliberately jumps out of perfectly good aircraft for entertainment. The first red flag came from our long-range monitoring station on Mars. Officer Clicks a PX, who insists we call them Bob because they're going through a human name phase, reported that Earth's normal electromagnetic emissions had changed pattern. Not decreased or increased. Changed. Like they knew we were listening. The second report came from our undercover agent in something called Nebraska, a region so mundane we originally thought it was a simulation designed to bore invading species to death. Agent Europe, currently going by Karen, reported that humans were acting normal, too normal, suspiciously normal. I know what you're thinking. Acting normal is normal, you paranoid fool, but you don't understand. Humans are never normal. These are creatures who invented something called competitive cheese rolling, where they chase a wheel of dairy product down a hill and frequently break bones doing it. They created thousands of varieties of hot sauce, each one spicier than the last, in what appears to be an attempt to simulate the experience of eating plasma. Normal isn't their thing. The final straw came when our deep space monitoring arrays picked up something unprecedented. Every single alien species with observation posts anywhere near Earth began pulling out. Not just the usual observers, everyone. The Exaralian Empire, which hasn't retreated from anything in 50,000 years, abandoned 3 secret bases and an ice cream shop they'd established on something called a New Jersey Turnpike. The MRFLX Collective, known throughout the galaxy for their unshakable calm and their unpronounceable name, evacuated so quickly they left behind a fully operational monitoring station and what appears to be several thousand copies of Earth's Netflix database. Even the Zuziks, who literally evolved from creatures that don't have a fear response, packed up their observation post on the dark side of Earth's moon. They left behind a simple message that, when translated, reads nope. I've attached all relevant data, including a concerning number of expense reports for something called pizza from our field agents. But here's the most troubling part: we have no idea what the humans did to cause this reaction. Every scan shows them going about their usual bizarre activities. They're still launching cars into space for no apparent reason. They're still spending hours watching small furry animals do silly things on their information networks. They're still putting pineapple on pizza, which 3 different species have classified as a potential war crime. But something has changed. Something that has made every advanced civilization in this sector of the galaxy decide that whatever Earth is up to, they want no part of it. Recommendation: upgrade Earth's classification from mostly harmless to mostly harmless. Note the addition of the question mark. I cannot stress enough how important that question mark is. Additional note: if anyone needs me, I'll be taking my scheduled vacation. Very far away from Earth, just in case. End report. Attached 47 pages of pizza delivery receipts, 12 TikTok videos of cats knocking things off tables, and 1 partially completed human crossword puzzle. Personal log: Commander Jack Lucky McGuffin, United Nations Space Defense Force that doesn't technically exist yet. 3 months before everything got weird. You know what they never tell you about first contact scenarios? How boring they are. All those movies about aliens landing on the White House lawn or hovering over major landmarks. Pure fiction. Real first contact happened on a Tuesday afternoon in my backyard, while I was trying to figure out why my lawnmower stopped working. I'm not even supposed to be involved in this kind of thing. I'm just a regular Air Force commander who got stuck with the space defense job because I once successfully organized a Star Trek convention. Apparently, that made me the most qualified person in the military to handle alien situations. I wish I was joking. So there I was, cursing at a piece of machinery that cost more than my first car, when this thing just appears next to my tomato plants. And when I say thing, I mean the most disappointing alien you could imagine. It looked like someone had taken a basic gray alien design from a 1950s sci-fi movie and decided to make it business casual. It was wearing what appeared to be a clip-on tie. "Greetings, human representative," it said, in perfect English. "I am diplomatic envoy 4th class ZSEPX of the Galactic Confederation." I stared at it for a good 30 seconds before responding. "Did my neighbor Dave put you up to this? Because if this is about the property line dispute, I already told him those tomatoes are on my side." The alien blinked its unnecessarily large eyes. "I assure you, I am not associated with Dave. I am here on a matter of utmost importance. We have been monitoring your species and—" Hold that thought, I interrupted, because the lawnmower had chosen that exact moment to start smoking. "I just need to. Yeah, this thing's definitely on fire now." What followed was 5 minutes of me trying to put out a small engine fire while an alien diplomat watched with what I can only describe as increasing concern. In my defense, who schedules first contact during yard work? Perhaps ZZPTX said once I'd finished cursing at the smoldering remains of my lawnmower, "We should focus on the matter at hand. We have detected some concerning changes in your species' behavior patterns." "You mean like how everyone's gotten really into those temperature-controlled water bottles?" "Yeah, that's been weird." "No, What? No. We've noticed a significant shift in your electromagnetic emissions and—" "Oh, that," I laughed. "That's probably because of Project Quiet." The alien froze. Like literally froze. I thought someone had hit a pause button. "Project Quiet." "Yeah, it's this new initiative to clean up our electromagnetic pollution. Some scientists figured out we were pumping out way too much random EM noise into space, so we're trying to be more efficient. For the environment and stuff. Plus, it's saving us a fortune on energy bills." ZZPTX made a sound like a dial-up modem having an existential crisis. "You mean? You're deliberately reducing your emissions? Voluntarily?" "Well, yeah, we're trying to be more green, sustainable. You know how it is?" "No," ZZPTX whispered. "No, I do not know how it is. Because no species has ever voluntarily gone silent. Silent species are planning something, always." "Planning something? We're just trying to lower our carbon footprint." But ZZPTX wasn't listening anymore. It was backing away from my tomato plants like they might attack at any moment. "This explains everything. The pattern changes, the efficiency improvements, the sustainability. Those are good things," I protested. "That's exactly what a species planning something would say," and with that, ZZPTX vanished, leaving behind only a slightly scorched patch of grass and what appeared to be a business card that read "Galactic Confederation, we come in peace, unless you're being suspicious." I stood there for a long moment, looking between the card and my ruined lawnmower. Finally, I did what any reasonable person would do in this situation. I went inside and poured myself a drink. Well, I said to no one in particular, "That probably won't have any major consequences." I've never been more wrong in my life. Intercepted galactic communications. Priority level panic. Subject Earth situation updates. Message 1. Message 1. From Emergency Response Team Delta. To all civilized species. Re-Earth is doing something. Fellow sentients, we have confirmed our worst fears. Earth is voluntarily going silent. I repeat, they are choosing to reduce their emissions. Analysis suggests they're doing it for the environment, which is clearly code for something terrible. We recommend immediate evacuation of all systems within 500 light-years of the Sol system. This is not a drill. Message 2. From Galactic Confederation High Council to all member species. Human behavior analysis. After extensive analysis of human communications intercepted over the last Earth month, we have identified several disturbing trends. They are going green, possibly a reference to biological weapons. They speak of reducing their footprint, clearly planning for stealth operations. They mention sustainability approximately 2,347 times per day, obviously a military code word. They continue to watch videos of small animals despite the crisis displaying a disturbing level of calm. Recommendation: panic harder. Message 3. From ZZPTX, Diplomatic Envoy 4th Class, to Department of Potentially Dangerous Species Assessment. 3. My resignation. I hereby submit my resignation from the Diplomatic Corps. After my encounter with the human commander, see attached report about the lawnmower incident, I can no longer in good conscience continue in this role. They were so casual about their planning. So normal about it. I haven't slept in 3 cycles. Every time I close my eyes, I see those tomato plants. Why were they growing their own food? What were they preparing for? P.S. I may have left my clip-on tie in their yard. Please do not send anyone to retrieve it. It's too dangerous. Meanwhile, back on Earth. UN Security Council emergency session. Topic: recent decrease in global energy consumption. Transcript excerpt. Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to report that Project Quiet has exceeded all expectations. Global electromagnetic emissions are down 47%, energy efficiency is up 52%, and we've saved enough money to finally fix the coffee machine in the break room. U.S. Representative. But what about the reports of strange lights in the sky? The sudden disappearance of all those suspicious-looking bird watchers who were definitely aliens. UK Representative, and the mysterious evacuation of that ice cream shop on the New Jersey Turnpike that nobody ever saw customers enter or leave. Secretary General, probably just a coincidence. Now about that coffee machine. Chinese Representative, has anyone else noticed that space seems quieter lately? Russian Representative, DA. Usually my completely normal civilian radio telescope picks up all sorts of alien chatter. Now, nothing but static and what sounds like distant screaming. Secretary General, I'm sure it's fine. The important thing is that we're saving the planet and money. This is an absolute win-win situation. Meanwhile, in Commander MacGuffin's backyard, I was finally attempting to resurrect my lawnmower when my phone rang. It was General Thompson, my superior officer, and the only other person who knew about my alien encounter. MacGuffin, he said, without preamble, why are all the aliens running away? I looked at the half-disassembled lawnmower in front of me. Sir, I may have accidentally convinced them we're planning something. How did you manage that? I told them the truth about Project Quiet. There was a long pause. You told an alien species that we're voluntarily choosing to go silent. Yes, sir. And you didn't think that might seem suspicious. In my defense, sir, I was distracted by a small engine fire at the time. Another pause. MacGuffin, do you realize what this means? That I should probably buy a new lawnmower. No, well, yes, actually, that thing sounds terrible. But more importantly, we've accidentally convinced every advanced civilization in our sector of space that humanity is up to something so terrifying that we're trying to hide it. Should we tell them the truth? That we're just trying to save money and the environment? They'd never believe us now. It's too simple, too logical. We've accidentally created the perfect bluff. I looked up at the sky, which seemed notably emptier of alien observation posts than usual. So what do we do now? Now? Now we ride this out and see what happens. And MacGuffin. Yes, sir. Buy an electric lawnmower. We're committed to this green initiative thing now. Might as well lean into it. Yes, sir. Should I keep growing the tomatoes? Definitely. Apparently they're terrifying. Minutes from the first emergency session of the Anti-Human Defense Coalition. Location literally as far from Earth as we could get. Attendance everyone. Except humans, obviously. Chief Coordinator BRX order. Order in the chamber. Can we please stop screaming for 5 minutes? Representative of the Exaralian Empire, but screaming is the only rational response. Has everyone seen the latest reports? They're expanding their green initiatives to include something called renewable energy. General panic ensues. Representative of the MRFLX collective, it gets worse. They're installing something called solar panels across their planet. They're literally trying to harvest their own sun's energy. More panic, several representatives faint. Chief Coordinator BRX, please everyone, we need to approach this logically. What do we actually know about human activities? Intelligence Officer Europe, well, According to our last remaining spy satellite, which, by the way, they definitely know about because they keep waving at it, they've reduced their electromagnetic emissions by another 15% this month alone. They're also dramatic pause. Representative of the Sussex, they're also what? What are they doing? Intelligence officer Europe, they're planting trees. Millions of them. Complete chaos breaks out. Meanwhile, in orbit around Jupiter. Captain's log survey ship running away quickly. Captain Zix of the Galactic Survey Fleet. We've established a temporary observation post behind Jupiter's largest moon. It's not the most strategic location, but it's as close as anyone's willing to get to Earth these days. Our mission is to monitor human activity and try to figure out what they're planning. So far, we've observed increased vegetation coverage, possibly for camouflage. Widespread adoption of energy-efficient technologies, clearly preparing for something power-hungry. Development of biodegradable materials, leaving no evidence. Reduced carbon emissions, testing some kind of atmospheric weapon. Implementation of recycling programs, resourcefulness training for their troops. The most disturbing part is how they maintain their daily routines as if nothing is happening. Just yesterday, we observed a human child's birthday party. They deliberately set food on fire while singing a ritualistic chant, and then the small humans took turns trying to extinguish it by expelling air from their faces. If they're training their young for biological warfare, they're starting early. Back on Earth. UN Special Committee on Accidentally Terrifying Aliens. Classified session transcript. Commander MacGuffin, so, the good news is that Project Quiet has exceeded all expectations. Global energy efficiency is at an all-time high, carbon emissions are down, and we're saving a fortune on electricity bills. General Thompson and the bad news. MacGuffin, we've apparently scared every alien species within 500 light-years so badly that they've formed something called the Anti-Human Defense Coalition. Secretary General, how do you know that? MacGuffin, they sent us a strongly worded letter. Well, technically they sent it to my tomato plants, but I got the message. Environmental Minister, should we be concerned? MacGuffin, about the aliens? No. They're too scared to come near us. About the fact that they're monitoring us from behind Jupiter's moons? Also no, they're really bad at hiding. They keep accidentally leaving their headlights on. General Thompson, so what you're saying is, MacGuffin, we've accidentally become the most terrifying species in this sector of the galaxy by trying to save the planet and reduce our electricity bills. Secretary General, well, as long as it's working. MacGuffin, oh, it's working. Yesterday I saw an alien scout ship near the moon. When I waved at them, they dropped their space binoculars and fled at faster than light speed. Environmental Minister, should we tell them the truth? Everyone looks at each other. All in unison, nah. Urgent meeting transcript. Location neutral space station, oh God, they found us. Occasion first official human-alien diplomatic summit. Reason humans asked nicely and everyone was too scared to say no. Present. Present. Commander Jack Lucky MacGuffin, Earth Representative. General Thompson, Earth Military. Chief Coordinator BRX Anti-Human Defense Coalition. ZZPTX former diplomatic envoy, currently hiding under table. Various other alien representatives all maintaining safe distance. Chief Coordinator BRX, so. You're saying? MacGuffin. Yep. BRX, that all this time. MacGuffin. BRX, you were just. MacGuffin, trying to save money on electricity bills and help the environment, yes. Long pause. ZZPX from under table, that's exactly what a species planning something would say. General Thompson, look, we can prove it. Here are our energy bills from before and after Project Quiet. Slide stack of papers across table. Alien financial analyst, these numbers. They're just utility bills. MacGuffin. Yep. See that big drop there? That's when we switched to LED lighting. Various aliens lean forward to examine documents. BRX, but the electromagnetic emissions reduction. MacGuffin, better shielding on our electronics. Turns out we were wasting a lot of energy just letting it leak into space. ZZPX emerging slightly from under table, the increased vegetation. MacGuffin, trees. They're just trees. They help clean the air and look nice. General Thompson, plus they provide shade, which reduces air conditioning costs. Collective alien gasp. Alien energy expert, you mean? You found a way to use primitive photosynthetic organisms for climate control. MacGuffin. I guess. We mostly just like having parks. Another long pause. EBRX, and the tomatoes. MacGuffin, I just like gardening. It's relaxing. Sound of thousands of alien minds being blown. Alien tactical officer, so you're telling us that we've spent the equivalent of 3 Earth years building defenses, evacuating colonies, and panicking. Because your species decided to be more energy efficient. General Thompson, pretty much, yeah. Longest pause yet. Blarax, does anyone else feel really silly right now? Universal agreement. MacGuffin, if it helps, we were pretty confused about why everyone was running away. We thought maybe we had bad cosmic breath or something. ZZPTX finally emerging fully from under table, but no species has ever voluntarily gone silent before. It's always been a sign of impending aggression. MacGuffin, has anyone ever tried just asking the silent species what they were doing? Uncomfortable shuffling. Blarax, well, no, we usually just panic and run away. General Thompson, that explains a lot, actually. MacGuffin, so now that we've cleared this up, who wants to see my new electric lawnmower? It's super efficient and hasn't caught fire even once. Mass alien exodus from meeting room. General Thompson, maybe we should hold off on the lawnmower demonstration. MacGuffin, probably for the best. But you know what this means, right? General Thompson, that we've discovered the galaxy's biggest weakness is basic communication. MacGuffin, no. Well, yes, but I was going to say this means we can probably get them to sign some really favorable trade deals right now. General Thompson, how do you figure? MacGuffin, well, they still look pretty nervous, and I did bring pictures of my tomato plants. Final report, Galactic, date 47,293.1. From Department of Potentially Dangerous Species Assessment. Subject, Earth status update final. Priority somehow even more critical than before. Remember how I said the last report was important? Well, this one's worse. We've discovered something far more terrifying than a species going silent. We've discovered a species that went silent. For practical reasons. Do you have any idea what this means? Any civilization advanced enough to achieve spaceflight but practical enough to say, hey, maybe we should waste less energy is unprecedented. They're combining common sense with technological advancement. It's unnatural. But it gets worse. Since the diplomatic summit, now referred to as the Great Facepalm in official documents, humans have been teaching other species about efficiency. Voluntary efficiency. They're spreading their ideas about sustainability and cost-saving measures across the galaxy like some kind of responsible plague. The Exoralian Empire has already implemented something they're calling Operation Light Switch. Apparently, someone finally told them they don't need to keep their war machines running 24/7. Their energy costs dropped 60% in the first month alone. The MRFLX Collective has started a green initiative, though they're calling it a blue initiative because they don't understand Earth color symbolism. They've reduced their electromagnetic emissions by 40% and their operational costs by half. Even the Zyziks, who literally evolved from bioluminescent creatures, are talking about responsible lighting practices. But the most disturbing development? Humans are now being invited to galactic environmental conferences, not as participants, as keynote speakers. Do you know how terrifying it is to watch a human explain the concept of turning off the lights when you leave the room, to a room full of advanced alien species, and seeing them take notes? They're revolutionizing galactic society with common sense. Common sense. Nobody's prepared for that kind of weapon. And Commander MacGuffin? The one who started all this with his terrifying tomato plants. He's been appointed as Earth's official representative to the Galactic Confederation's newly formed Department of Practical Solutions. His first suggestion was to maybe put timers on the space station lights. The energy savings from that one idea paid for the entire department's annual budget. Humans have achieved something no species has ever managed before. They've made being practical seem cool. Species that have been at war for millennia are now competing to see who can reduce their carbon footprint the fastest. The Galactic Stock Exchange has created an index just to track green technology investments. Final assessment: Earth's classification has been updated from mostly harmless to mostly harmless but disturbingly practical. They're not going to destroy the galaxy, they're going to optimize it. May whatever deities you believe in have mercy on our utility bills. Additional note: Commander MacGuffin's tomato plants have been classified as a galactic heritage site. Nobody knows why, but nobody dares to question it. Final personal note: I'm not even going to try to resign. Humans have implemented something called exit interviews across the galaxy, and frankly, I'm not prepared for that level of organizational efficiency. End report. Kai. Attached 1 tomato plant seed, carefully preserved in a stasis field, with a note reading just in case. The end. Author's note: and that's how humanity conquered the galaxy, not with weapons or technology, but with practical solutions and gardening tips. Some say that to this day, alien species still get nervous when they see someone turning off unnecessary lights or starting a compost bin.